Lee at Iridium. Hope everyone's doing all right today. I've got a new guest on with me today, James Rawlinson. How you doing, mate?
All right, thanks, mate.
Good. So James has been, I reckon, maybe one of our longest subscribers. I remember James when I first started the channel a year or so ago, subscribing and commenting quite a bit. So thanks, first of all, for being with me so long. And I just want a little bit of background. Introduce yourself to everyone watching, mate. How you got into metal, that sort of thing.
Yeah, sorry, yeah, call me Jam, by the way. That's all my friends do, so
Jam,
that's fine.
cool, yeah.
Well, I'm, although I don't look it, I'm slightly younger than Lee. I'm only 46, but I've been into metal, obviously, all my life, pretty much, since I can remember. Obviously, being a bit younger, for me, it's probably later 80s, probably 86 onwards. So, what, 13? So, yeah, 86 onwards. And I sort of liked it when I was younger as well. My uncle made me a tape when I was a child, apparently, and all the songs I liked were like Blue Oyster Cult and, you know, all the rock stuff, if you like, 70s stuff. And then I think because obviously it's very popular in the charts in the 80s, rock and metal. In 86, you're getting Bon Jovi, you're getting Europe at #1, you're getting Def Leppard. So that's how I probably sort of got back into that sort of thing. And then I think I got Crazy Nights for my birthday in 87 from Kiss. And then that was it. Then I went to my first gig in 80, it might be in 88 actually, it might be the tour for that album, so it might be 80. I think I was 13, so. Wow. And then Maiden the next year. And then that's it. I've been metal ever since, really. Still gigging now, go to all the downloads. Had loads of gigs counted, of course, last year. So.
I'm sort of, it's cool to hear your little story, and I'm sure we've all got the different ones. But you know what I was thinking as you was talking then? You said you've been into metal all your life, and I have as well. Don't you think it's fucking weird how some people are into metal, then they're not? You either are or you ain't. I mean, how does it actually happen? How do you ever leave it?
Well, it's impossible. I don't believe people are actually into it in the first place if they don't like it anymore. It's impossible. I mean, I had a slight spell like everybody did, sort of 94 to 98 probably. It was terrible for metal, wasn't it? I mean, I was doing other things. I didn't listen to anything else, but I just didn't particularly buy anything. You know, there wasn't that much out to buy. You know? But yeah,
it's fucking weird, isn't it? Because I can't see. You're totally right. You obviously wasn't. Maybe it's a subject for another show. But how can you actually be into metal and say you was really into it and then you're not? I don't get it. There you go. It's an interesting subject.
You can sort of go on to different styles, can't you? I mean, you could get into rap metal, and then I guess you say, I like rap more, but I don't see it personally.
Mate, I did the same. I went into all sorts of different sorts of metal. I sort of followed what was popular at the time, but it's funny, isn't it, how you come back round and what you originally was, that just shows you what the best was, because that's what you go back to in the end, isn't it? But you know, I leave a lot of them sort of bands out of my show because they have come and gone and they're not with me no more. You know, I might listen to the odd bit, Deftones or something like that, but that's about it. You know what I mean? I don't revisit them poor years, if you like, much at all. Alice in Chains maybe the most.
Yeah.
But there you go. So right, so we got talking, me and James, and obviously he's here today, and he had a really good idea for a show. And at first it seemed quite easy. It's got to be one of the most frustrating things, and I suggest that, you know, you guys out there, once you've seen this and you have a go at it as well and realize it might seem easy at first. And it was basically choose your favorite song. We're going Iron Maiden, obviously, because why not? Because Maiden are massive, you know, one of the biggest metal bands in the world. We both love them. That's got to be the first thing. We both got to love them. And choose the best song off an album, if you like, but you can only choose one song from it. You can't double up on an album base. You can't choose two songs from one album. And also, which is the main thing, you've got to use it as the track one's got to be the track one off of one of the albums. So you've got to follow the track listing as well. And you don't realise how hard this is, because you know you want, as soon as I chose the songs I really wanted, that just made everything else so hard. And then you sometimes having to pick songs, leave them songs off that you really wanted just to get another song on that maybe ain't so, it's murder. So with this in particular, we had 12 first of all. We said, let's go for 12, but you quickly realise, because of the length of Maiden's songs, mainly, especially in the early days, 8 songs usually, wasn't it? You know, in the early days. And even now, you know, it's 10 or 11 usually. So because you get stuck with 11 and 12 was basically you had to choose certain songs. I sort of bent your arm a little bit and said, look, I think 10 would be best because then you get more scope, I suppose, a little bit more scope. But it's absolute murder because the songs I had to leave off are just bad. It's just really frustrating. So I don't know about you, mate, how hard you found this.
Well, like I say, we had a quick chat. I think the best way is probably to pick your 5 first tracks and then rank all those in order of what you think, and then perhaps do some sort of maths or something. I don't know, to work it out. But I didn't do that. I just picked out. I thought I definitely want that one as me. Definitely want that one. Definitely. And as you said, then it's really hard to go for it. I did do about 3 drafts in the end.
Yeah, I suppose it's because Maiden, for me, even though I love them so much, not all their albums are brilliant. By the way, you know, without a doubt, their best part for me was probably the first album up until Seventh Son. Even then, I think it's a dip for me. I mean, a Power Slave is the height for me of Maiden. That's my opinion myself. Of course, a lot of it depends on how old you are. Like you said, sometimes you get into them later. It's other albums that appeal. But, you know, they've had some good ones recently, but nothing for me that compares to those first few. That's just my opinion. And then you're sort of left with those. You have to choose ones off of the albums that, you know, ain't so good because of the way this actual program is. So what we're going to do, we're going to go track 1 to 10, and we're going to call it, well, if you had an idea, all killer, no filler, but it's fucking hard to make it no filler even. You know, these are definitely, if I had a best of Maiden album, some of these wouldn't be on it. Put it that way. I would, you know, but then you'd be choosing an album, you know what I mean? Mine would be consisting of 2 albums probably. Yeah, that'd be it. So, but it's a very good thing to do because it just gets your brain ticking without a doubt. So we'll both be mentioning, maybe, I don't know if you've got songs that you really wanted to choose, but you couldn't because of the way that you had to choose. But I've got a few. I'm just going to mention them by name. And we're going to go track 1 to track 10. And if it's all right, Jam, you can go number 1 first. Track 1 on your best of sort of CD.
Well, I think as we discussed, I have actually probably got 4 or 5 of my favourite songs on there. I managed to squeeze them in, so I'm quite happy with the list. And I do like every song on there quite a lot. Some I wouldn't have picked, you say, but we'll talk the obviously alternate ones once you've done your selection, I presume. You don't want me to mention them beforehand.
Yeah, we'll do, if you tell me what your main track was first and why you chose it, and then you can do your little, straight away for track 1, your nearly maids, if you like. If that's
but then it might be the same as what you've got there, so I don't want to spoil your.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah. We go then 1 to 10, then we'll talk about our, good idea. Okay. Good idea. Okay then, mate. Track 1, what you got?
Well, as probably already mentioned, the biggest album, my favourite album is Seventh Son of the Seventh Son. Definitely, when I like prog metal anyway, so I didn't know what that was when I was in 1988, but you know, I really love that album, and there's no way. And when I did this, I went straight away. Well, my favourite probably could be my favourite Maiden song is Moonchild, so that's easy for me. I just love the intro. I think it should open every single gig they do. There's other opinions on that, which we'll probably mention later. What it should be. There's 2 songs for me, and that's the first one. And the other one is probably what we both think it should be, or possibly. So yeah, that's why I chose Moonchild. So that was a no-brainer for me.
Cool. I'm going to write your little list down here. So you got Moonchild as your number 1. It's funny with Seventh Son that I like it a lot more now than I did when I was younger. Actually, you know, at the time I felt a bit disappointed as a Maiden fan, but now it's grown on me a lot. You know. Okay, that's cool. Well, my number 1 is Where Eagles Dare. So I think this could be. I mean, I've done it. I think I did my favourite Maiden songs quite a while ago, but these are the sort of, with any band, they do shift around. This could actually make my number 1 Maiden song. I'm not really sure, but I just love it from that. I think it was a great intro, wasn't it, for Nico McBrain, that first drum part which goes into the song. It just becomes just an epic masterpiece. That really, Maiden do this a lot, don't they? They have a really long middle section of instrumental. Yeah. And it's just such an amazing song. It's just I think they lack a bit of good openers in the newer albums, but I think in the old days, their openers were just epic. Where Eagles Dare, mate, is my number 1.
Yeah, that's a good song. Look, good film as well. So.
Oh yeah, I love a bit of Clint Eastwood as well. So there you go. Okay, track two.
Right, number track 2, and this is the latest or the latest year I'm going. 2000. Ghost of Navigator from Brave New World. Once again, it's an epic song, and it's quite proggy as well. Actually, I just suddenly realised it's definitely got some strange time changes in that one, but it just works together. It's probably the song I play most of Iron Maiden, other than perhaps my track 6. I just play it all the time. I don't really play the album, but I play that song.
Well, mate, we agree on that one. That's a bit of a we go to the Navigator. I've gone that as well. Absolutely love that track. I mean, that's probably my favourite part. I don't know if you've seen all the DVDs. You probably have as a Maiden fan, all the live concerts.
Yeah.
That Rock in Rio. You know, when they first. I think that just a little bit of time after that album came out, Brave New World, and that part of the crowd when they're jumping around on that first bit, man, and it just gives me goosebumps every time. I love Ghost of Navigator. It was hard though because they have some great number 2 tracks on their albums.
Yeah. I've got 1, 2, 5, I think.
Yeah, that was a difficult one because that is without doubt my favourite song on that album, and I wanted it to be on there. Proper epic. Love it, absolutely love it. Great choice, mate.
I picked that one as well straight away. That was straight on there.
Okay, track 3.
Track 3 from Peace of Mind, 1983, and it's Flight of Icarus.
Yeah,
great song. It's probably not my favourite on the album, but it's probably one of them. Obviously, Revelations, and I won't mention songs, but there's lots of great songs on there. So
there is. It's an album. I was thinking about this. It's probably the most consistent album for me, my opinion. Track by track. If you talk about perfect Maiden albums, it's quite hard for a perfect Maiden album because they sometimes have an odd track that's not so, but that's probably the most consistent album for me. Brilliant album. This was hard, man, for me because this track 3 for me is nowhere near my favorite track off this album, but I was just pushed into a corner where I had to have this one. And it's Prisoner off of Number of the Beast. I mean, I love the song, but that album itself, I've got a lot better tracks, but as I explain as we go on, you can see why I had to end up with not having something else, and I had to have Prisoner. But it's a great track, it's not my top tracks, but I love it still. So there you go, Prisoner. Okay. We're up to track 4, mate.
Right. This will be a controversial one. 1998, Virtual 11, The Klansman. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you've heard it. I mean, you probably skimmed through them. It's a bit cheesy. Obviously, it's going for Braveheart type thing. But I didn't know the song because I didn't really listen to Virtual 11. Although I like Blaze and that, I had nothing against him. I just didn't listen to it. It's that poor period we talked about, 1995. So I didn't really listen to that sort of stuff. But I saw it live. I don't know what tour it was, but it was with Bruce, and he actually sang it. And that's the first time I heard it. And obviously, the crowd went wild. And it just, and I suddenly thought, I've got to listen to that song. It's really, really good, and I do like it. So, that's why I picked the Klansman. It's slightly cheesy, but I don't mind that. Okay.
No, it is a good choice to pick. If you're going to pick one off the Blaze Bayley ones, and you don't have to, obviously, because they've got a lot more than 10 albums, but it is a highlight without a doubt off of that album. And I don't know, a lot of people rate that album as well, that one. I think the other one, no, the X Factor is the one they rate, don't they? A lot of Maiden fans.
I didn't like Virtual 11 at all.
No, exactly. So, okay, so my track 4, going all the way back to the beginning, Phantom of the Opera off of Iron Maiden. So, I mean, I think this just showed, and there's a lot of good track 4s, man. That's the problem. But I think this just showed what they were going to become, even though they had Paul Di'Anno on vocals. I think it showed the epicness, I mean, there's a lot of variation on that first album, wasn't it? It was a bit punky. It was like not even 3-minute songs sometimes, the lyrics weren't really there as such, what it would become, a lot of repeating of lyrics. But I think Phantom of the Opera is just an amazing song, epic, that just stands out, you know, as something else on the album. So that's my track 4, mate. Phantom of the Opera.
I remember hearing that when I was a kid for the Daley Thompson.
Yeah, yes.
I Maiden until I got back into them and listened to the first album. And it's like, oh, I know that. Where's that from? Oh, that's right. I didn't realise.
Yeah, it was an amazing advert, wasn't it? Just that little bit. That was a cool advert. Yeah, I mean, that came quite a bit after, didn't it? I think after. Yeah, great. Absolutely great song. But okay then, mate. Track 5.
Yeah, track 5. Oh, well, track 5, I only had a choice of 2 really, and I couldn't have the second one. So, and it's quite a good one. I mean, I wouldn't play it much these days. It's like one of them songs you hear every single gig. But it's Number of the Beast, number 5, from the obviously same album, 1982.
I think the trouble with me is because I've been I don't know about you, but a lot of these songs I've heard. A lot of the songs I've heard thousands of times, but some I suppose I've heard millions of times.
Yeah.
And I think I'm not sure if I've chosen any singles. I'm not really sure because I'm not really sure. They're a bit of an unusual band now, aren't they? They can release single songs. Nearly all their songs are 9 minutes long now. So I suppose every song they release now is going to be could be a single. But I think I might have heard some songs a bit too much for me. But I need to sometimes, so get that out of my head, you know. But nostalgia can play it 2 ways sometimes. You could choose something that ain't the best song because you've heard it a lot. Sometimes it can go the other way. But great choice though, man. Number of the Beast. It is a brilliant song. So I've gone The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner from Somewhere in Time. I think it's a bit of an underrated song. We're going to get on to the songs that I missed out on this. I really wanted to put on number 5. But I think it's the highlight of the album. Another one at the time after Power Slave and then Live After Death, which were amazing for me and a big, massive part of my childhood. Yeah. It was a little bit of a disappointment for me, Somewhere in Time. You know, it's just, I suppose it's just the age, innit? And you just go through them years of that huge, like, epic period. And I hear Somewhere in Time is a lot of people's favourite, you know. And I think it is an age thing. But The Loneliness of the Long Distance Runner, definitely different. I love the gallop. They got that really fast gallop in this, which they're brilliant at, you know. But a great song. Probably one of 2 of my favourites off of the album.
Yep.
So
I like all songs on that album. The album cover for me was the best bit about it. You spent an hour album cover. Yeah, on vinyl, especially you can see everything.
It's a great album cover, man. So right, we've gone past halfway. We're up to number 6. We're up halfway now.
Okay, right. Going all the way back to 1980, Strange World.
Yeah,
from
nice.
The first album. Now, I love the first album, but I'd never play Running Free, you know. And Prowler was my favourite song. And then Remember Tomorrow, which I still love. That could have made the list. So I like Phantom of the Opera, but I don't really play it that much. But recently, Strange World is the only song I really play off that album. I love it. And obviously, Iron Maiden play, but yeah, Strange World is just a great, slow sort of, I don't know, just really good. There's something about it. It's eerie, isn't it, I guess?
I love that song, man. I absolutely love that song. You know what? Oh, man, that's just a disappointment not to have it on here, but it's an excellent song, a different as well, obviously, like Remember Tomorrow, innit? It's got that sort of feel. Great. And that's what we said about epic, wasn't it? That there's a few songs on the album in there. That one, Remember Tomorrow, Strange, and Phantom of the Opera had that more epic feel that they were going to become. Brilliant. That's brilliant. I suppose I've gone for a bit more of a deeper cut on this. I've gone to Seventh Son of a Seventh Son and The Prophecy. I just love this, man. I love that. I don't know what it is. I know it's only, you sometimes pick out little bits in songs, don't you, that really get you going. That little riff that kicks it off after the little clean guitar intro. That sort of really sounds complicated riff. Don't know if it is for them, but I love The Prophecy. One of those more deeper sort of cuts, but absolutely love it. That's my number 6.
Good one. I like that. Number 7. Okay, going to Stranger in a Strange Land again. My favourite song. A lot of people don't like this song particularly, but I love it. Deja Vu probably could be my favourite song on the album. It's a bit, well, there's nothing exciting about it. It's nothing special, but I just don't know. The chorus just gets me. I just like the feel of the song, really. So I think it's always been my favourite song off that album, probably.
Oh man, you're lucky that you had to get to choose your favourite song. It's good though, man. I do like the song actually. I do like it, and it definite deeper cut and sort of bit of underrated cut as well. Good that, man. I like that. So, okay, my number 7, and obviously I'm going to choose off the other Paul Di'Anno album. So I've gone both the Paul Di'Anno albums on my list, and a title track from Killers. Oh, man, I just love that song, man. And it's just I don't know. Killers was I'm probably in the minority here. I didn't like it as much as the first Maiden album.
No, I didn't.
I just thought I didn't think there was anything wrong with the production. I know the production seems to be an issue with a lot of people. I didn't think it was bad at all. I thought there was a lot more intelligence for me on that first album for some reason. I just thought it was more Maiden sounding. They both had them punky elements, didn't they, on both of them albums? A lot of that to do with Paul Di'Anno's vocals as well, obviously. But Killers is just such an epic track, and the little build up with the bass and the clean guitar, then ramming into that gallop again.
Yeah,
love it, absolutely love it. I'm glad I got to choose that one as my track 7. So there you go.
Yeah, I had Killers in there. I wanted to get it in, but I just couldn't fit it in. I think I have played it live as well, fairly recently, which is good. So that's obviously they rate it highly as well.
Definitely, man. Okay,
number 8.
Yeah, this is hard, isn't it? 8 is hard.
Well, for me, it isn't. I mean, I don't know if you've gone the same, but I got it in straight away. Number 8, Power Slave, Rime of the Ancient Mariner.
Yeah. So have I. yeah. I mean, no, I'm not. I'm saying it. I'm not. What I mean is, I don't mean to say it's hard because it's.
Sorry.
It is an hard track, but what I mean is, what I had to leave off was quite. But yeah, that when I spoke about. Sorry, I'm sort of taking your turn here, but when I spoke about my first ones to go on the list, this was it. I think this was the first song that I put down. Amazing,
I didn't put it down actually. I luckily stumbled into having 8.3, and obviously there's another good number 8 track. But I actually had a space, so I was like, oh, well, I can put that in then, can't I? So that worked out. But it is one of my favourite tracks. I mean, it's about 13 minutes long, but it doesn't seem like it. I mean, especially off Live After Death, watching the video of that when I was a kid over and over again. Probably worn out now, but yeah, brilliant.
I think, I mean, look, there's bands now, isn't there, that do 25-minute tracks, but you got to do it right, mate, ain't you? And there are some bands that do it right as well now. I can think of some now. Iced Earth, Gettysburg trilogy thing, which was 20-odd minutes long. That was brilliant. But I think they were the first band, weren't they, to do something like that, a metal band at least. Absolutely amazing track.
I think the other good song, the only good one that's 13 minutes long that I absolutely love is Halloween by Halloween.
Oh, I love that song. I absolutely love that. Yeah.
That's another 13 minutes that flies by. That song's brilliant. So.
Twists and turns in that one. Amazing as well. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Good shout out that, mate. Brilliant song as well. And very similar to Maiden, weren't they? Obviously, at the time. Maiden, Queen's Right, very similar, that sort of sound, but great. Absolutely great. Okay, so now we're getting to the end of the album, and this is where it goes a bit weird because obviously all of those earlier albums, most of them were 8 tracks, weren't they? Nearly all of them. So now we get to more interesting territory, I suppose. Number 9, mate, what you got for that?
Yeah, number 9, there wasn't much choice, and I do like this song. I would have picked something else possibly. I wanted to get some other songs from this album in, as you already have, but I've gone with Purgatory from Killers. If I'm honest, I can't particularly remember. I do know I like the song, but I haven't heard it recently. But I do know, and I love that album cover. I think I got it on single later in the day because I just love the half Eddie, half Devil cover.
Yeah.
But it is a good song. I do like it. I just can't picture it. I should have listened to it really, but yeah, it is a good song.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the album cover. We had a thing about album covers on there the other day, and that album cover, man, because it was cool because I like that stage of Eddie where he was on the streets, if you know what I mean. And obviously he became more and more, didn't he? Like he was a pharaoh and all sorts in space and all sorts of shit in the end. But I love that album cover, one of my favourites. But great choice, mate. Purgatory. Well, this album is probably my second favourite of the second Bruce Dickinson era, if you like. Yeah. I love this album when it came out. Matter of Life and Death. and Lord of Light. So I just think I could have chosen any song, maybe apart from the first one off of this album I didn't like particularly. I think it's a single, Wildest Dreams or something like that. But everything else was, I think it was Wildest Dreams, or was that or Dance to Death?
I was on Dance to Death, wasn't it? I think.
Dance to Death, sorry. But the single off of this, which is escaping me
Benjamin
now.
Breed, was it? Benjamin Breed?
It was the first song. Benjamin Breed was a single, but it was the first song. It was one of those like Maiden 4-minute. It was the first single. I can't remember the name of it now. But apart from that, the whole album was very epic. It was all war, wasn't it? The whole theme was war. And they was all like, I just love this album. I actually went to see them on that tour when they played it in its entirety, which a lot of fans were a bit pissed off with. I can sort of understand that. But I loved it. Lord of Light is just goes along with everything on that album. It's one of my favourite Maiden albums, actually, especially of the new era. So Lord of Light is my number 9.
Yeah, great stuff. So there wasn't much choice, but it was okay. Number 10, I think I mentioned this song to you before when you were doing your albums. It's one of my favourite Maiden songs anyway, so it was easy for me. Yeah, that's Mother Russia from No Prayer for the Dying, 1990. Great song. Some people don't like it, but and it's once again it could be considered a bit cheesy with a slightly Russian type, I don't know, type riff. But no, I like it, Mother Russia. So.
No, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. I like that song. I've gone with Judas Be My Guide from Fear of the Dark. So I think this is another song that I sort of reviewed as such. Very sort of, I love the chorus. I just absolutely love it. It does remind me of sort of Queensryche for some reason. But I mean, I suppose the Queensryche Maiden at times went hand in hand a little bit. But off of one of the, I didn't really like the Fear of the Dark album that much. Or No Prayer for the Dying. I think that was the poorest part of the Maiden Bruce Dickinson era, if you like, for me. But a lot of people love Fear of the Dark. I think it's a great album. And to tell you the truth, it's funny, isn't it? It was slated quite a bit at the time. But if you hear it now, some of it fits a lot with stuff they do now. Some of the musical passages, you know, it's not that far off with some of the stuff they do now. So I suppose, you know, it just proves how good that early era was of Maiden, I suppose. Yeah. But Judas Be My Guide is my number 10, mate. I was quite happy to get that on there because I like that song, you know, but I probably would have had other songs on there. I don't know, but as my number 10. But okay, well, I think they're pretty good at choices. Yeah. It's blimmin' hard. And then it ain't till you do it, you realise how hard it is. And obviously some of the things you need quite a few albums released, don't you? First thing to do it. Otherwise you could do, I suppose, 8 tracks. But you know, then you're pushing it a little bit. But okay then, mate. Let's hear some of your nearly mades or the frustrating ones that you wanted to get on there but you just couldn't.
They're mostly at the start of the album, as you'd expect, because obviously most bands have their strong ones at the front, don't they? But number 1, I definitely wanted to get Prowler in there, as mentioned. And then obviously Aces High, probably the second song that should ever open a Maiden gig. If it's not Moonchild, it should always be Aces High, as far as I'm concerned. And then I do like Sign of the Cross from X Factor. They're probably my favourite opening tracks.
I went Aces High and If Eternity Should Fail, because I think If Eternity Should Fail, for me, is the best opening track they've had for years on an album. Like I said, they usually go for that 3 or 4 minute single at first, but that was a bit of an epic one. If Eternity Should Fail, I absolutely love that song. So, but Aces High and If Eternity Should Fail. Aces High was a brilliant song, but Where Eagles Dare for me is the one. There you go. Number 2, this was hard for me. Go on, what's yours, mate?
Well, you start this one if you want.
Right. One of my favourite tracks that I was just gutted about, Revelations. Infinite Dreams was brilliant, and Remember Tomorrow was ones that frustrated me not to get on there. Go on, mate. What's yours?
I Remember Tomorrow and Revelations as well, but I've also got Rough Child, Children of the Damned, brilliant song. Like that, and then 2 Minutes to Midnight as well, of course. So some good songs.
That's great, man. Number 3, what you got for that?
Not much choice really. Murders in the Rue Morgue, not too bothered about not getting that on, but I do like it. And I do actually like Can I Play with Madness, because once again, it's one of the first sort of Maiden songs I got back into, you know, in 1988. So I don't mind that song at all.
I didn't actually have anything for free. Nothing that I was really like annoyed with not getting on there. I didn't have anything at all. Number 4 as well. Yeah, I said 4 was odd, but I don't think it was. I didn't have anything for 4 either that I really, really wanted on there either.
22 Acacia Avenue.
Oh shit! Yes, sorry. Yeah, I couldn't have written down. I love that song. That was one actually. Sorry, 22 Acacia Avenue. What a great song, man.
Die with your boots on, evil that men do. It's all Seventh Son here, isn't it? But yeah.
For the loneliness of long distance runner, which I chose as my number 5. But not this gutted me a little bit. Duelists from Power.
Yeah.
And I like Dance of Death as well. I know it's a little bit, like you've mentioned, sort of corny before. It is a little bit, I suppose, but great seeing it live as well. And when I first saw them play that live on that tour, which was pretty cool. But yeah, Duelist and Dance of Death. What you got for 5, mate?
Only Seventh Son of Seventh Son, which I wouldn't have put in if I could rhyme the Ancient Mariner in, but yeah.
Okay, number 6, mate. What was your almost for 6?
This is the song I did. This is what I wanted to get in off Peace of Mind, which is Still Life, because that's probably my favourite song on the album.
Yeah. But oh, mate, I had Still Life for sure. Strange World, and I like the Book of Souls title track as well. That I wasn't that gutted about that, but that's a really strong track for me off of that album. For 7, I had Killers, didn't I? But Power Slave was the one. I like that song. Gutted. Okay,
I Power Slave first. Well, yeah, Power Slave definitely, and Killers. The other one is Charlotte the Harlot. I mean, not very PC, is it? But it's still a great. That's probably the other one off the first album I do play a lot. I do like Charlotte the Harlot. It's just a punky type song, isn't it?
Definitely. Okay, so number 7. Was that 7? No, that was 7.
7.
Number 8. Yeah, this one was quite a hard one for me. Hallowed Be Thy Name. Passchendaele as well. I had them too, but Hallowed Be Thy Name was probably the one I was gutted to leave off. How about you, mate?
Yeah, just Hallowed Be Thy Name. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's it. I haven't got any others for any other numbers. So.
Yeah, I haven't either. I got Mother Russia though for the 10th track, but no, Judas Be My Guide I was happy to have that on there, but Mother Russia was like not as good for me. But oh mate, it was so, like I said, if anyone has a go at this, I'm sure people will in the comments. You will know. It ain't until you do it. And you understand the frustration that comes behind it, because it's no way as easy as you think. Unless you actually, I suppose, if you love every Iron Maiden song, is the only way that you will, find this easy. But if you're true to yourself, I don't think I love Iron Maiden, but they're not the most consistent band in history for me. They had a good run for me, but not all the way through. But they're still a good band, by the way, and I'm looking forward to whenever they announce a new album. I'm sure it's going to be this year. I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, obviously got Download next year, haven't we? Hopefully. So, and obviously they're headlining. So hopefully, whether I'll have something new out for them, I don't know. I mean, they've had plenty of time to work on it, haven't they? Although obviously can't travel. Nico lives in America, doesn't he? I think.
Yeah.
Can't travel.
Mind you can do all sorts of shit now, can't you? I mean, most bands don't even blimmin' see each other anymore when they record, do they? But I'm sure I don't know their recording process, whether they will insist to be together. I don't know. But you live near Download, obviously, didn't you?
Yeah. Derby. So it's brilliant for us. We go every year. We camp, and you know what it's like Monday morning. Do you camp over, or do you?
I have done. I've camped once. I've pussied out on a hotel before, and I went camping last time with sciatica, and I couldn't stay for more than one night because my back was fucked. So yeah, my first time camping was brilliant. I stayed the whole 4 days. No, 5 days was it? Where you go early, Wednesday to Sunday, whatever it is. Done the whole lot. But I mean, as a festival itself, the trouble is, I don't know about you, but it's obviously brilliant for having it around the corner from you.
Yeah.
But it's not the greatest for me as in the artist. There's a lot of extreme stuff, and I like, there might be one day I hope for that has got all the bands I want to see, but usually they're dotted, didn't they? You get one on the Friday, 4 or 5 on the Saturday, then 3 on the Sunday, and you go for the whole lot just to catch them all. But you know, I suppose I'm missing the old days where it was Monsters of Rock. It was all like the classic bands, you know, but that's never going to come back again. I mean, I think, oh yeah. The best festival for me was where I used to live in Kent, Maidstone. They did Rambling Man, and it's just full up with bands that I love, you know. But the biggest bands don't go there yet, if you know what I mean. You won't get a Maiden there.
It's a long way to travel as well. Like I said, after download Monday morning, it's only half an hour to get home. But I mean, I don't think I could wake up after a download experience in Kent and look forward to a 4-hour drive back to Derby.
Oh, listen, man, anything else from you before we go?
No, really enjoyed that. That was good fun.
Yeah, man. It was quite hard. Do you want to come? Hopefully you come on again. We can do this or something else. You could become one of my regular team, hopefully.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, that's cool.
Cool. All right, mate. All right. See you next time. Cheers, mate.
Yeah. Bye.